It's actually been 4 weeks since I've made a video. I was sick for a small portion of that, and I kind of want to walk through what happened between my last video and where I am right now, so that you guys kind of understand where I started and where I am now, and how I've been able to work my way through this incredible few weeks. Week 4, I woke up that Monday at like 3 in the morning, and it just the chills. It was the worst feeling. It's one of those feelings where you don't quite feel sick yet, but you know you're getting sick because you've got one of those classic symptoms of the flu, the chills, where no matter what kind of blankets you have on you, no matter what kind of things you're wearing to bed, you can't find warmth. It was awful. And that started at something like 3 in the morning. I was able to drift off to sleep and back kind of every couple of hours or so, but it was just really bad that first day. That was maybe the worst flu I've had in a long time. It's one of the things that, if you think about it, that the pandemic actually improved because of the masks that have been introduced. I have not really gotten sick in the past 2.5, 3 years or so. Uh, Mostly because I've been wearing masks whenever I'm feeling sick or whenever I'm around other people that I think might be sick, and you're just less likely to get sick that way. And so, and even before then, I didn't really get sick all that often. I was off work for 2 days, and I work from home. So if I'm just a little under the weather, I can usually get some work done. I took 2 whole days off this time around. Thankfully, my daughter came by that day, that first day, and was able to run out to the store and pick up some food and some medicine for me. Whenever I was a kid, my mother would always make me the same thing anytime I was sick. And it's not like a huge meal that she would prepare, but she would always give me saltine crackers, and she would give me either Sprite or 7 Up, some kind of a citrus cola. And I think that the idea behind it is that the bubbles in the cola kind of help settle your stomach a little bit, and the soda crackers are something that you can keep down fairly easily. But it's something that I always kind of crave whenever I'm under the weather, and so I had her buy some of that as well as some medicine, and I was able to use that to kind of get through the day. No activity week 4. I didn't run. There was no cycling. There was no lifting. I canceled my trainer appointment that week because I couldn't handle it. One day I left the apartment. I went out to a local pharmacy so that I could get more throat lozenges, and just the walk like 3 blocks away down there and back, that walk was enough to like wind me seriously. And so there was nothing that was going to happen exercise wise that week. So week 5, we're into the first week of real recovery. I had my training session. I tried to run one day, and what I really noticed is that I was doing more work and getting less out of that work than I was in any previous time in recent memory, probably within the past year. I was putting forth a whole lot of effort to maintain a pace that I should have been able to maintain fairly easily. I was getting winded doing it. Uh, my heart rate was just crazy. I was kind of like worried. I messaged my trainer that day and I said to her, I think that I've backslid. And she replied with a message that said, you're not backsliding. You're not moving backward. You're just still in recovery. Like you've been sick. And so you need to let your body recover. And so that eased my mind because, I've got the type of anxiety that makes you kind of think through everything all the time. I run through conversations in my head. I'm constantly worried. And just to have someone say, no, 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 it's fine. You're okay. You don't have to worry about it. It made me feel really great. Um, Mental health wise, through the whole thing, one of the things that just kept running through my head is that it's like I'm failing, because it felt that way. It felt like this should be something I'm able to overcome, and I wasn't able to overcome it. And I kind of broke down there a little bit. I've been going through some stuff. I don't want to get into a whole lot of like really personal details at this point, but just going through some things, kind of one of the things that I was kind of leading myself to, and it took a while to get there, was that I need to evaluate what I'm doing. I need to evaluate how I'm spending my time. Am I doing things that are focused towards getting to my goals, or am I doing things that aren't focused? And are there things that I could be changing to kind of lead myself to those goals, to make those goals a little easier? So made some changes in my life. Some things I ended up having to give up some things that I really enjoy, and really appreciate, but they just weren't furthering that goal. And so, it sucks. Sometimes you have to, weigh those options. Where are you in your life? There's this episode of Scrubs that always comes to mind when I'm thinking about this kind of thing, where Turk gets sort of upset about the fact that Carlo points out that he's gaining weight. And so he starts going to the gym with Dr. Cox, and he's lifting weights and all of that. And he's like neglecting spending time with Carla in order to lift weights. And he sort of realizes at the end that he would rather spend time with her than spend time in the gym. And I'm kind of, like, I think looking at my life, I'm like in the opposite direction, and I'm having to like focus my efforts more towards the fitness because I have these fitness goals that I really want to meet. And and so I'm, putting other parts of my life aside to hopefully try to meet those. So I've been feeling good about it. I think it's the right thing to do. I've been, like talking to a therapist, things like that, to make sure that I'm kind of staying on the right track. But it is kind of emotionally taxing a little bit. So leading into week 6, though, I was making some big changes dealing with that, and I felt like week 6 was the first week I was really back on track, and not only like on track, but almost like moving forward a little bit more. So week 6, I found some of that mental clarity. I ran more than once that week. I did 3 runs, I believe. But I one long run at 7 miles, which is about where I left off with my previous long runs, and did like one sort of standard, uh, 14-mile-an-hour run that I would do on most days when I'm running. So on top of that, I was also getting into the training. One of the things that, like, when I was getting fit before, one of the things that was pushing me was actually climbing, and so I decided to get back into climbing. It's been, I would say, about 6 months since I had last climbed in a gym. Hopped back in the gym. Um, Ended up probably pushing too hard that first day. I ended up with sort of a pulley issue where, and I'm not, I don't know all of the words. I don't know if it's tendons or ligaments or what it is, but there's no like muscle in your fingers that actually like moves your fingers. It's all in the forearm, which is one of the reasons that when you see climbers, they tend to have really well developed forearms. And so whenever I would do like a crimp, anytime I would hang my weight off of it, I would feel pain sort of in my forearm here. And that was just kind of from overdoing it that first day. Thankfully, I was able to give it some rest and let it go away. There's also some really nice, if you have this kind of problem, or if you have any kind of carpal tunnel type stuff, there are these stretchy bands that you can buy. So this is one of those stretchy bands. You can insert your fingers into them, like so, and your thumb on the bottom, and then you can stretch your fingers out. As you can see, I don't have a lot. I've never have had a lot of mobility in my thumb when doing this. At least not on this right hand. Left hand might be a little better. So yeah, I've got these in 3 different weights. So I use them to. It's one of those deals where if you've been putting a lot of effort into like crimping down with your fingers, stretching them out this way with resistance can actually help kind of heal those muscles and to build more muscle for it. So I've been using these a lot since I've been getting back into climbing because I know I've gained quite a bit of weight since the last time I was climbing, and I also know that as you start again, you kind of want to be at the level that you were before, and you want to push yourself without injuring yourself. And so you probably inevitably push a little harder than you should. And so I've been using these to provide resistance to myself at home in order to help train those muscles back. Um, Week 7 was another sort of breakthrough week for me. I not only was able to get to my training session, I actually made it to the gym other times during that week. And I climbed twice that week. Not only that, but I did a standard run, a tempo run, and I did my long run, which was 7.5 miles along the C&O Canal. It was a really nice change of pace, a really beautiful day. I haven't run the C&O in a while. In fact, since December. And that time that I ran it, it was cold. It was a little more miserable. We still don't have leaves on the trees here, but so we don't have that sort of springtime stuff going on, but the weather was just really great. Now you'll notice there's no footage for any of this, and part of that was sort of getting back into the groove of things, and part of it was just that I didn't really feel like I wanted to carry camera with me as I ran any of this. And as I've said before, I don't really love taking cameras into the gym with me. In fact, I kind of meant to bring it in this week, which well, I mean we're in week 8 right now, but I kind of meant to bring it in this week to capture some footage with my trainer, but I forgot. And so maybe some other point probably was for the best because it was all an ab workout and it's not looking great right now, but it's getting better. It's definitely getting better. I've noticed I've been making it to the gym more, climbing more, running, being able to get more miles in. It's really been good. Moving forward, next week will be 8 miles running. I need to get myself scheduled for a 5K, and I'll let you guys know when that is. And if you guys want to follow any of this on Strava, the link for my Strava should be in the description. And so you can just click through that and follow me there, and you can see kind of what I'm doing day to day and week to week. So if you guys have enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe below. And if you have any recommendations or things that you have questions about with what I'm doing, let me know. I plan to make a video at some point talking a little bit about my thoughts on working out, and particularly for guys my age. And hopefully, I can provide some insight into that because a lot of it is really based on injury prevention and trying to push as hard as I can while preventing injury. So, thanks for watching, and I will see you all next week.